2021. Live on connectonair.com and remoteradioweek.org.
Connect on Air.
Remote Radio Week proposes distinct programs in English, French, Spanish and Arabic, featuring experts, examples, debates and technical tips.
Connect on Air, première plateforme dédiée à la radio et à l'audio digital.
Connectonair.com. Radio and video
Remote
hub.
Radio Week 2021. Get ready for a week devoted to helping radio stations broadcast remotely. Live on connectonair.com and remote-radio-week.org.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching from. I'm Jackie Lidubwi. I work for Internews Network as the project lead for Inclusive Media Project. In the Inclusive Media Project, we are empowering journalists in Sub-Saharan Africa on how to report on disability stories. Currently, we are working in Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, and Liberia. So today, I'm also delighted to participate in the UNESCO Radio Week, and I'll be presenting on a topic that is close to my heart, which is media and disability. So as radio journalists, radio managers, radio editors, it is important for us to have knowledge on disability so that we do that, we still have that negative perception or impact to our audiences or our listeners, wherever they are. So let's emphasize on ability and not disability, unless it is very important for your story. And then let's show persons with disabilities as active members in the society. So portraying people with disabilities as active members of society and not passive and dependent helps break the barriers and open opportunities. As a radio journalist, when you go there, interview a person with disability, bring them to the radio to contribute about politics, to contribute about education, to contribute about everything. Because when they talk about every other aspect of our society, then people will be able to accept them more and include them more. Also allow people with disability to speak for themselves. So experience shows that when the person with disability speaks with confidence and authority about a particular situation, a person without disability is more likely to believe that people with disabilities are knowledgeable. They what have said. Let them bring them to our studio to talk about education matters, but don't just invite a person with disability to talk about their disability or the disability, or only when there's a disability day is when we bring person with disabilities in our studio. That one cannot really help in changing the narrative of disability in the media and in our society. So, and also when you are interviewing a person with disability, talk to that person, look at them, don't look at the interpreter. If you are talking to a deaf person, to wait for the interpreter to interpret for you. Just look at that person and ask question. It is the work for the interpreter to look at you and to interpret. But when you look at the interpreter, it means you don't really acknowledge a person with disability. Then don't overemphasize disability heroes, because even though the public may admire superheroes, portraying people with disabilities as superstars raises unrealistic expectation that all people with disabilities should achieve that level, which is not even realistic to people without disabilities, because we cannot all be achievers or overachievers. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. So let us not overemphasize disability heroes. Then avoid words with negative connotations. So avoid referring to people with disabilities as victims, afflicted, invalid, wheelchair-bound, cripples, crippled. This is negative and demeaning language. Refer to people who are without disabilities as people without disability and not normal. Because when you say normal versus people with disability, it means you think people with disabilities are abnormal. So language is important because language shapes opinions, and language shows the way you are respecting someone. And when we use respectful language and language that is positive, it will help in including people with the disabilities in our society, and hence mainstreaming disability. So I had also an example. This is Godalin Kakuya. He was the best KCP student in Kenya in 2017, but you can see how the media reported, because they think they used the superhero side. So they even baptized Godalin a name, which is Golden Girl, because she topped the class. She became a golden girl. And this is how the local media reported. But it is not only the local media. You will see here, this is Reuters, which is an international media. They also called Golden Girl with Albinism shines as Kenya top student. So when a person with disability or a person with albinism tops, we become golden. This year, the top KCP student was also a girl. I'm sure she's nowhere in the news. So when we start, we have only stories of superheroes and pity in the media. We don't really have a positive portrayal of disability in the media. So finally, your concerted efforts to use positive and non-judgmental, respectful language when referring to people with disabilities in writing and in everyday speaking can go a long way towards helping to change the negative stereotypes. So there's so much we can learn about disability reporting and disability in our media houses, but this is just an introduction and the tip of the iceberg. But you can go to our website on Internews. Internews network, just go to Reporting Disability. You'll get there a manual which we have produced for journalists on how to report on disability issues. And we have there so many guidelines and materials to help you in your work in reporting. Thank you so much for listening to me. And I hope now you have some tips that can help you to include more persons with disabilities in your reporting. Thank you so much. Asante sana. So thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you so much for your time. It was really a great pleasure and honor for me to present. I know this is just an introduction, tip of the iceberg. So if you need more materials on disability reporting, you can check on our website, Internews website. Just go under Reporting Disability in the Media, and you'll find there a manual, a guideline on how to report on disability issues. You'll also find there many tips and many webinars that can help you in your journey in mainstreaming disability in the media. Thank you so much, and I wish you good luck in your reporting and in your stories, and hopefully, and this is my wish and prayer to all of you, kindly include persons with disabilities in your media. If necessary, employ them, because in disability movement, there is a saying, nothing about us without us. So when we include them, even by employing them in our media houses, it will help in mainstreaming disability and including persons with disability more. Thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure to be with you. Hope to see you another day. Asante sana. Bye.
UNESCO Remote Radio Week 2021. Get ready.
Connect on Air.
UNESCO Remote Radio Week 2021. Live